So I'm going to talk a little bit longer about that. I was talking about, am I too old? Yes, we lock ourselves into a mindset, a culture, an environment. Me being a believer of the Lord Jesus Christ, I just feel like there's certain ways that He's called us to walk. And those ways may defy human intellect. And what I'm talking about, or what I'm giving reference to, is Father Abraham and Sarah, his wife. When God said, you're going to conceive, you're going to have a child. Even to the point where she had laughed, let out a laugh. And she said, I didn't laugh at that. I didn't laugh at that. It showed the human side of who we are. I think some things are kind of funny. I was talking to my relative the other day, and I was telling her that I still dance, and I still do a praise dance for my church. And, when is enough, or when do we feel like we're too old to do certain things? I just believe that if God has given you that gift, and if He has placed a mandate on your life to perform or to do that duty, that you should do it as unto the Lord until He tells you it's enough. I'm actually dancing with a young lady, and she's younger than me. And she will teach someone probably that's younger than her, should the Lord tarry. I just don't feel like the gifts that God gives us, we should covet, or we should hoard to ourselves and not teach the younger, because eventually we will be no longer and the younger will take our place. So it's just a blessing to be open. I was at another church, and that door was totally closed for me because they had already had their worshipers, and they had already had things in place, and there was no room for me to, or for God to move in my life. So he shifted me, He moved me. And you have to be open to the shift. I don't want to be in a church that's stagnant. I don't want to be in a church that there's no room for God to move. Not only in me, but in others. In others. It's important.